Hey everyone, GuardianE here with another live reaction and first impression video for Fire Emblem Heroes. Today, we should be getting the reveal of the next legendary hero in the game. There's a lot of speculation as to whom it could be. I'm not looking at my screen right now, so I don't know who it's displaying or what the title of the video is. But I think the current frontrunners are probably Celica, just because there's been a lot of Valentia banners recently, or the one big Valentia banner recently, and Celica does not yet have a legendary hero. Another frontrunner has been, I guess, Leif or any other original characters within the story, just because we did get Thracia recently, so how Leif gets introduced into the summon pool we don't know yet, but it could be him, so let's go ahead and watch this trailer together for the first time. See who it is. Alright. A new legendary hero joins the battle. Who? Unifier of Thracia. It is Leif, but not the Leif that I thought it could possibly be. Okay. Attack res push 4, so he's going to be a cavalry archer, and it looks like a colorless archer. I like the little kneel that the horse does. Okay, so the duo effect, or not duo effect, but the partner up effect, pair up. Okay. Alright, so we got a colorless hero, along with legendary Ryoma, legendary Hector, legendary Lucina, legendary Azura, Valentine's Ike, Spring Paula, Spring Marissa, Ranulf, Picnic Felicia, legendary Alm, oh man, Fallen Tiki. That is a stacked colorless pool. Wow, let's pause here. So starting on the 29th, so I think on Tuesday, and then running all the way until the 5th of November. So it's going to be here for a good bit of time, about a week or so, to pull on these characters. Doesn't look like there's anything anything else in the trailer to look out for. No hidden surprises towards the end. Let's just take a quick peek. No. Okay. All right. Well, not the Leif that I was expecting. I was expecting the Leif from the Bizarro Alphonse from the original story, potentially, just because, again, I don't know how he's going to be appearing. So they threw us kind of a curveball here. It looks like it's going to be Leif from Thracia. So let's take another look at Leif's art, as well as his skills, as well as the other units on the banner, to see if this is, maybe one worth going in on. All right, so I do like his art here. It's very dynamic looking. I like the art a lot. There's something about it that's very intense as far as like the shading is concerned, and then he's got that sort of that cape that wraps around him as well. I'm getting almost like a Grand Blue vibe almost from the art. I don't know. It's something about it just kind of speaks to me. Maybe it's the rendering and the shading on the armor and the cape. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but he looks great. I mean, they did a great job. Nicholas Roy is going to be the voice for him, and again, he is a cavalry colorless archer, and he's going to be a water hero, as well as have the pair-up mechanic associated with it. So let's keep going. There he is. Let's pause here and take a quick look. So he still has his S drink from his original Fire Emblem Heroes incarnation, so he does have that carry over. But let's start at the beginning. So Meisterbogen, Masterbow, is a 9-might weapon, effective against flying foes. Of course, inflicts speed -5. Oh my god, it's going to be a brave bow. Unit attacks twice, even if foe initiates combat. Okay. When under player's control, unit gains if unit initiates combat, foe cannot make a follow-up attack. So that's certainly a new condition that we've never seen before. When under player's control, that would presumably means that this effect does not, this condition does not get met if he's being AI controlled, so on an arena defense situation or an Ether Raids defense situation. Further, I guess if you're doing auto battle, probably, this effect he also does not gain it, but basically, if unit initiates combat, foe cannot make a follow-up attack. So that is very interesting. That's a peculiar combination. So right out of the gate, he's got a Brave Bow, a legendary Brave Bow all to himself. That in and of itself is powerful. He also has the Brave Bow effect on enemy phase, as it says here, which is which is very powerful. When under player's control, he reduces the ability for the opponent to do a follow-up attack when he is initiating. I mean, I'm wondering if that means that his speed is not going to be anything to write home about, so it's going to prevent the enemy from doubling up on him on enemy phase. I'm not entirely sure, or on his player phase, I should say, their enemy phase. I don't know. I'm curious to see what his stat line is going to be with that specific condition. But in most cases, if you're quadding, you want to kill with that quad. So if you're quadding, the enemy forces aren't going to be following up anyway. So again, I'm curious as to whether or not he's going to be a quadder, or whether or not he's basically going to be relying on this skill to not get doubled on enemy phase. So his special is Nyorun's Zeal. It's a 3 cooldown special. If unit initiates combat, grants another action to unit after combat. What? Once per turn. When special triggers inflicts, restricts movement to 1 space on unit, and pair up cohort through their next action. Really? So this is a unique Gale Force for Leif. And as you know, Gale Force cannot be inherited on ranged units, specifically. However, Leif has a unique special to him that will grant him a Gale Force effect, and it's only 3 cooldown, which is pretty ridiculous. I don't know why they would make it a 3 cooldown. That's kind of absurd. Yeah. Of course, there is the negative effect when special triggers inflicts restrict movement to 1 space. So he can only move 1 space back, or move 1 space to attack forward, even if he has, and both that applies to both he and the pair-up cohort that he may have. But I mean, that's still ridiculous. That means that he can basically run in, fire off his Meisterbogen, activate Nyorun's Zeal, and then back up to safety by 1 space. I mean, so I get limiting it to 1 space. I get that that's a thing. That's a detriment. But honestly, I don't think it's that much of a detriment. He's the first ranged unit to be able to have a Gale Force effect. That alone is ridiculous. And the Gale Force effect is only 3 cooldown. He doesn't have any cooldown reduction skills on him. He's not an infantry, so he doesn't get the advantage of some of those pulses that can come into play. But nevertheless, I mean, he can still have Heavy Blade on himself. That's one of those skills that's cooldown reduction that can go on both cavalry and on flyers, and so he can have that on him as a seal, depending on what his attack stat is, and that'll, again, pretty much guarantee that he'll get Nyorun's Zeal off. He gets limited to 1 space afterwards. I get that that's certainly a negative, but, I mean, it's certainly enough to be able to fall back to safety. Really, 1 space is mostly what you need in a lot of instances. And then, of course, he's ranged, which means that he is attacked. He's not like a regular unit that comes in Gale Forces, and then, if that unit was limited to 1 range, it would be a severe penalty. But for him, as a ranged unit, it's really not that bad. Most enemy forces are clumped together in some fashion, so if he wanted to initiate on the following enemy, he easily could. If he wanted to fall back a space and then get repositioned to safety, that's also very, very easy for him to accomplish. So this is a ridiculous special. I mean, this is actually amazing. And to me, it actually reinforces the notion that he might be kind of slow. We'll see what the stat line is when the data mine comes out. So I could be way, way off. But how this reads to me is that in combination with Meisterbogen is that Meisterbogen will go off, he'll get counterattacked, or he'll expect to get counterattacked, which will activate Nyorun's Zeal. He won't get doubled on the counterattack, so he'll survive, but then he'll activate Nyorun's Zeal and be able to attack again and finish off anybody that survived. So in an instance where the enemy unit was not able to be taken out by the initial volley, Nyorun's Zeal will ensure that he does take them out on the following turn that he takes, the following action that he takes. So that is pretty ridiculous. That's pretty ridiculous. And I feel like they tried to balance this out a little bit on Aether-Raid's defense, because Meisterbogen, again, has that specific condition where it has to be player-controlled. So I think the counter to Nyorun's Zeal is to be able to enemy phase and kill Leif, it feels like. Because otherwise, Leif will just run amok and then be able to Gale Force himself and take out another unit. So So I feel like that's how they tried to balance Norun Zeal. I could be off, but it seems like that was what they tried to do. I don't know how successful it's going to be, because that really is. But regardless, I think Norun Zeal is pretty phenomenal. Attack res push 4, so at start of combat, if unit's HP is greater than or equal to 25%, grants attack res plus 7, but after combat, if unit attacked, deals 5 damage to units. So, we saw attack speed push 4, which is absolutely amazing on Brave Camilla. Attack res push 4. The fact that it's not attack speed, again, to me, kind of says that maybe Leif doesn't have the most amazing speed stat. Attack res push 4 ensures that he won't get one shot on counterattack. So I think that is sort of the intent with attack res push 4 here. S-Drink has his B slot at start of turn 1, restores 99 HP and grants special cooldown -1. So that means if you keep S-Drink, that Norun Zeal is at a 2-turn cooldown. I don't think anybody is keeping S-Drink on him, except for maybe in the instance of doing, certain autoing certain Tempest trials or things like that. But yeah, S-Drink is probably not going to be seeing much usage. That is probably going to be swapped out pretty quickly. Death Smoke 3 inflicts defense -7 on foes within 2 spaces of target through their next actions. That synergizes with Norun Zeal, because naturally if Meisterbogen comes out, knocks out an enemy, he activates Norun Zeal, he can move 1 space, and then the next opponent that he fires upon is going to have a -7 defense debuff to them, meaning that he's basically doing 14 damage on initiation, 14 extra damage on initiation. So that's pretty ridiculous. But I am very, very curious as to what his stat line is going to be, because Norun's Zeal sounds like a problem. It sounds like, when he gets that off, he's getting an additional movement so he can initiate on your defense debuffed ally, or I guess I'm thinking about it from the perspective of the of facing off against Leif rather than using Leif. But when you're using Leif, obviously you can then move to initiate upon the next enemy, or fall back to reposition to safety very, very easily. Or if you have dancers on your team, you can move them into position so that they will be able to, again, further enhance his movement, because after that next dance, he's going to get back his 3 movement speed as a cavalry unit. So, if he moves forward 3 spaces, fires off, gets Norun Zeal to activate, he can move forward another space, get danced, move forward another 3 spaces. I mean, that's so much movement just inherently right there. But yeah, Norun Zeal at a 3-turn cooldown is absurd. I don't know why they would do that, and I think he's going to be a problem. I feel like he could definitely be a problem. But let's see what his stat line's going to be. I don't think we can actually glean anything from his initiation here. That animation is really cool, how the horse takes a bow a little bit. That's pretty neat. Alright. Yeah, he's definitely a force to be reckoned with. Okay, Legendary Ryoma, Legendary Hector, Legendary Lucina, a lot of Legendary Azura, Valentine's Hector, a lot of really, really powerful archers on this banner. If you love archers, this is a great banner for you. Oh my god. That is something else. Alright, so let's pause here and take a look. Elephant in the room, colorless. Leif is colorless. He is the marquee unit. He's going to be the primary target for a lot of people, and he is accompanied by Legendary Alm and Fallen Tiki. That is a ridiculous set of characters. Fallen Tiki is the quote-unquote breaker of the colorless pool, and that statement is absurd, because all 3 of them are absolutely amazing. Like I said, we don't know what Leif's stat line is going to be, but based upon his skill set, he is going to be ridiculous. We know Legendary Alm has ridiculous potential as well, and Fallen Tiki is amazing, and Fallen Tiki is absolutely an amazing colorless unit. So, I mean, colorless is totally stacked here, and it's very, very easy to recommend pulling on colorless on this banner. So next is green. We've got Legendary Hector, as well as Ranulf and Felicia, Picnic Felicia. That's okay. That's okay. Ranulf is good. He's pretty solid. And then Picnic Felicia has a lot of interesting utility. Probably, I feel like she's fallen a little bit in terms of or rather she's been overshadowed by her sister on that banner, but she's still very good. So green is solid. It's definitely not as solid as colorless is, but green has a lot to offer as well. Let's take a look at blue. Oh my goodness. Legendary Lucina, Legendary Azura, and Spring Marissa. So Spring Marissa, honestly, she's great. I love Spring Marissa because her voice lines are like absolutely amazing and she looks adorable. To be completely honest, Spring Marissa, she doesn't really have much in terms of her skills and her weapon that she comes with. It's really not that much to write home about. Her stat line's pretty good, but again, there's so many blue Lance flyers in the game. If you're a fan of Marissa, obviously she's a great get. I went in for her, of course. But she definitely brings down blue as far as a meta utility perspective is concerned. However, Legendary Azura, arguably the best dancer in the game, and then you have Legendary Lucina, who is an absolutely phenomenal archer that has unique utility in being able to self-refresh and swap. I mean, that future vision is scary to today. So, what is with this banner and archers that can refresh themselves? That's so weird. I don't know. Is this going to be a thing? But blue is very, very good. I would say that blue is better than green, certainly. I would say it's technically not quite as good as colorless, just because of Marissa there. But a lot of that is, again, going to depend on your box, your barracks, and who you have and who you don't. And then finally, we've got red. So red, we've got Valentine's Ike. We've got Spring Paula. And we've got Legendary Ryoma. So I feel like this is probably maybe a little bit better than green or tied with green. Spring Paula, actually, she has the Disarm Trap, which a lot of people are sleeping on. I think that it's actually pretty darn useful. And I think that she also has a lot of utility in Ether Raids against common threats. So I think Spring Paula does have a lot of uses, even if they're a little niche. But we have Valentine's Ike, who obviously has Distant Counter, so there's that. I mean, getting Distant Counter is never a bad thing in your repertoire. And then certainly I think he comes with some pretty good skills too, and he's a fearsome unit in his own right. It's just he gets outclassed by he doesn't have the wow factor of a lot of units on this banner. Legendary Ryoma is absolutely amazing. I think a lot of people sleep on Legendary Ryoma, but he is arguably the best Fire Sweep Sword user in the entire game. He's absolutely amazing. He's one of the best sword flyers, absolutely. We've gotten a lot of really, really powerful sword flyers in the game. Katria. But even despite that, Ryoma is still very strong. So because of that, I'm reluctant to put it below green, but I think that red and green are kind of on the same wavelength as far as overall power. So my personal rating, I think colorless is a no-brainer if you like any of these units or you don't have any of these units. I think that colorless is absolutely a great color to go in on. I think that right underneath that is going to be blue, just because of Azura and Lucina alone are major threats in something like Ether Raids, and they just have unprecedented and unrivaled utility in a lot of ways. And then a couple of notches down, we've got red and green, like kind of sitting there. I would only recommend on a legendary banner to go in on a particular color and snipe for that color if you are missing at least 2 of the 3 characters, or you at least want 2 of the 3 characters. That's kind of the threshold, at least as far as, rates are concerned, so that it's actually in your favor to get a unit that you're looking for. If you only want one of the units, you may want to wait for another banner to roll around. Obviously, you don't have that luxury, unfortunately, if they're seasonals, so you'd have to wait an entire year. But just keep that in mind. You're in a best position if you want at least 2 of the 3 units on a color, and you decide to go in on that color. For me personally, I think I'm going to go in on colorless on this banner. I don't know how hard I'm going to go in, but I'm actually missing all 3 of those units, so they'd be nice to have and nice to play with. I'd love to have them in my barracks to use. Blue, I'm tempted to go in just for Legendary Lucina, but I have both Marissa and Legendary Azura, so I really don't think I can. I don't think I can justify that. I would love to get Legendary Hector because he's another unit that I'm missing, but I'm not going to go in on green or red. It's just not worth it for me personally. So I think for me, it's colorless, and that's kind of it. I think, and then as a backup, blue if I need to. So let me know in the comments below if you're excited for Leif, what you think about Leif's Legendary Hero version in the game, what you think about that special, and let me know in the comments below if you're excited about the banner, who you're going to be pulling for, if you are going to be pulling for anybody, which colors you're going to be shooting for. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to leave us a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Fire Emblem Heroes content. We thank you all so much for watching, taking some time out of your day to spend with us. We really, really do appreciate it. And until next time, let's protect those skies.